Should be good to go.
Yes.
Get the last one going. And welcome back. So, excuse me, we are back here today live with Mr. Daniel Luque. If you guys don't know where you are here with Black Expat Life Abroad. What we do is give you guys the real information you need from America to actually take the move abroad. This journey and the entire process is not something that is easy, but we do our best to actually bring you and connect you to the resources that you need to actually make this move and leave America or wherever it is that you may be looking to leave from and come to places like Colombia, Mexico, Panama, South Africa. Here and over the next couple of days and weeks, you will see many of our speakers. Our speakers are coming to you all at one time, November 22nd. We'll be doing a live virtual conference. So, exactly where you are seeing this is exactly the way to get the information on how to attend. We have multiple destinations as well as visa opportunities, parenting abroad, how to build wealth abroad, as well as something that most people forget until they actually move abroad, how to take care of your mental health. So, these things over the next couple of weeks will give you insight and information on some of the speakers that will be at our virtual relocation conference. Tonight, we are going to get into something that is one of the most burning topics when you talk about moving abroad. When you say, I have my passport and I want to go live into another country, many people have often heard the buzzwords like the digital nomad visa or I can buy property. But tonight we're going to get into what that means, what that actually looks like, some foundational things that you need to understand as well as gather if you are looking to procure a visa when looking to move abroad. So, Daniel, I appreciate you actually coming on to get to the people's information. Thank you for coming, man. It's good to see you as always.
No, thank you. Thank you for having us. And it's always a great chat when we discuss a lot of funny stuff here. So thanks, man.
Nah, for certain, for certain. Well, let's just get into it. I want to at least set the table for anybody that doesn't know you, doesn't know your firm, where you are, so we can get an understanding of exactly how you help. What I will tell people before we get into your introduction is obviously Daniel speaks English. Not everyone speaks English in Colombia or where you may have on your radar. I tell people, especially if you aren't fluent in the way of business conversation, you may want to navigate with somebody, resources that help you in a way that you can actually communicate and understand. It may be difficult. I think people are really excited. Apple came out with the Translate iPods or things of that, and they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go get those. But make certain that you are taking the proper precautions and steps when you are literally sourcing the people that are going to help you go to move abroad. So, Daniel, please tell these people who you are.
Yes, thanks, man. Yeah, my name is Daniel. I'm an immigration attorney here at Capital M Law. It's a law firm I co-founded with my wife and partner, Maria Fernanda. We live in Medellin. We're both attorneys from the Universidad Pontificia Bolivariana. We've been practicing law over the past 6, 7 years. We started this law firm around 4 or 5 years ago, um, and we have been giving legal representation, legal advice to foreign clients and local clients as well, uh, in different matters. Some some of them being related to intellectual property, some of them being related to family law, and one of our big expertises is immigration law, which is an area that we have practiced um, in different scenarios. We have mm, we have an office here in Laureles in Medellin, and we work here every day. Well, we'll say 24/7, but realistically, just regular office hours. And yeah, I think we have gathered good insights on how the Colombian government works. towards foreigners or people looking to move here in some areas, and we're very happy to share that with the community because sometimes it is not as straightforward as you said. Eh, that's that's it.
It's and that's what I tell people. Because I, things are black and white. You know, you go and here it is written down to the law. And when I tell people the words discretion is written down as far as the black and white, and discretion can mean so many different things. I feel like when you are seeing immigration, visas, the process change almost. I wouldn't say daily, but I have been caught up in a scenario where within a week, documents that weren't needed were automatically needed and mandatory. So, you know, what I tell people is the reason why we're here is because there are going to be people that decide to do this process and to navigate this process by themselves. We're going to get into some of the shortfalls on that, but I do want to at least start the conversation because I think, you know, as a Colombian and considering working, you said your specialty is immigration. What led you to want to help foreigners come to Colombia and guide them through that process? 'Cause I think that's very special to want to niche down and particularly look to help.
Yes, thanks for the question. Mainly have two reasons. I personally have two reasons for going on that. One is about my family. My father is a foreigner, a Spaniard from Spain. He moved with his family to Colombia in the 50s. And basically, most of my family are immigrants as well, living abroad. My brother lives in Switzerland, my aunt's in Chile, my uncle in Canada, and cousin in Japan. I mean, we're very spread around the world, and we're very familiar on how it is to be playing outside your country. We
Hmm.
know we understand that feeling of being familiar, of connecting, the routing, and that kind of feeling. So we're really empathetic with people who are in the going through the same process of relocation because we
Yeah.
have done it. And the other part is because yes, I myself lived in Germany for some years and Spain. So yeah, basically when I came to Colombia and also got more expat friends and saw that this part of the law was not as developed as other branches such as labor law or yeah civil law, we saw that there was a niche, a part of the legal spectrum that needed much work, and it still is needed because you will see later on that not even the government is prepared, and sometimes you will find flaws and inconsistencies from rules, from institutions, and from misinformation that is very hard to guess. It's, I
Yeah.
would say, impossible to guess unless someone tells you. So someone who has done it tells you. And so yeah, that's been basically the main reasons why we're conducting this immigration law practice.
No, that is definitely a unique story. I didn't know that much about you as far as you living there as well as your family being pretty much like spread over the world almost. You said Chile, Japan, you spending time in Germany as well as Spain. These things are important because you know when working with people, I tell many times considering what we are doing. The average American wasn't taught to leave. And now we are considering that more Americans are typing into Google, how do I move abroad? How do I go to other places? And it takes a special kind of person to help navigate you through that process. I think it's easy that for I think it's difficult but easy for somebody that doesn't know to say, "Yeah, I'll help you through the immigration process." But understanding it from one a foundational and clinical sense, but also how it actually goes within your life. It makes a lot easier for you to have a kindred spirit with the people that you are working with. You know, some of the things I think about, because a lot of Americans are either doing the smart thing when they go to move abroad and say, okay, let me search out for resources. But then you have other people that are doing it after something has happened, after they got denied, or after it didn't work out the way they want to. You know, what do you see from your end some of the biggest challenges that Americans are coming to you with when it comes to how do I get a visa?
Hmm, a lot. But I will start by saying, I mean, most of the problem are basically come often from misinformation, and misinformation that can lead to very costly mistakes. For instance, can name you um, a retirement visa, right?
Mhm.
A lot of people don't know that, or not aware that they cannot enroll to the public health system under a retirement visa, but they do it. So when it comes the time to renew their visa and they're still enrolled, they check on their system and they ask them to get the enrollment certificate, or they just deny that, and that is an extra process that people are not aware. um, I don't know, marriage visas, people say, I know, get married is fine, but then if you get divorced, you lose the visa. They buy a property, if you sell the property, you lose the visa. You start a business as a founder of the company, but then you can't prove new job creations, or you can't show the economical activities of the company. That is another problem, because the thing with immigration law and the visas is that it is tightly connected with other areas. Yes,
Okay.
a visa. The biggest importance of the visa is not just to get it. I would say there are two parts. One is the visa application. The visa application is not just filling a form. And sometimes it means, especially the timing and scheduling trips and moving and making your plans according to the period of time that you're allowed to be in that country. So that changes your rental agreement, that has effects on your kids' schools if you're bringing your children to the country. So that changes a lot. That's the visa application. And then what I would say, the path towards residency, or the path towards permanent residency, is another dynamics, because each visa category is very bounded to other stuff. Like I said, if you're coming with a student visa, for example, a lot of people don't know that after they finish their student visa, if they apply for another visa 2 years later, they will ask you the certificate that you finished school. And some people just get enrolled and go for one class, and then they don't go anymore. So
Mhm.
2 years later, that can hit back hard.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about this, and it was like your story, because and if you're new and you didn't hear that story, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But it's just like, so when you have a story, a lot of people just think a visa is just like some easy paperwork. You don't have to like do anything. And I'm like, you have to tell them who you are. You actually have to prove who you are. You have to tell them about how you make money. You have to show them your bank account and how much money it is in there as far as your sustainability to live abroad. But what Daniel's talking about is your story. If you are a student and then and you do your 2 years and then there is no certificate and you're trying to get a student visa again, your story might not really add up. If you are coming as a nomad, but then you may change into something else, it's like The one thing I realized from that last conversation we had about, you know, the story of what your visa is and how you present who you are to the new government that you're dealing with, it's like that's not on anyone's radar on as far as America. We're just like we're going to get whatever visa that we're going to get here, and then I'll just go apply for this one here, and then I'll just go get the other one. And these are reasons and causes for, like you said, the denial, because it doesn't track and you keep having to go back to the same source.
Yes, exactly. I mean, in as with any immigration system in the world, in Colombia, we at Capital M, or we the service that we provide is focused on minimizing some risks that are not very obvious, because when you check on the visa, people often fall into so much fallacies like, I got a friend that did it online and it was quick and simple and he got approved. But if you flip a coin 100 times and 99 falls on tails, doesn't mean that if you flip it again, it's gonna fall on tails. So most of people go to Facebook groups and Reddit and forums and
Right.
get some information that is just one experience, right? One point of view, and that can be uh, a lucky guess.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to generalize. We as a law firm, we have handled hundreds of visas, and we're still discovering new things that of government policies changes every day. So I think it's worth to, as you say, it's worth to get a consultation. It's worth to get an information that is fit for your case, not just the general stuff that you read on the internet, but actually talk with someone who asks the right questions that you are not thinking of, right? For example, today we had a gentleman, 70 something years old. He was summoned for an interview, online interview, before the Colombian government for his visa approval. And although he was retired, um, he forgot to mention that he was in Afghanistan, right? And you will say, what does that have to do? Well, there is a part of the law that is regulating about national security and checking that, and that has a lot of effects on visa approvals and visa granted time and so on. So yeah, man, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's no matter who I bring, what expert, what expat, we all end up saying the same things. And I'm like, did you hear what he said? Because I have said this a number of times. Like, what you see on the internet, people are looking to say I want to move abroad, and then they go on the internet, and then they see people moving abroad and think that that is going to be their exact experience. Now, it can be if you are doing things the right way, but to automatically assume because somebody got this visa and you don't know what their situation is versus what your situation is, these things don't translate easy to just say it's going to happen no matter what. And I think a lot of people are disillusioned by that. They're in a scenario where the $300 apartment, the because I don't know if you catch Thailand information, but that's what's going on over there. I got a $300 villa for a month, and it has a pool and a view, but it's in the middle of the jungle somewhere, and you have to have a car, and there is nothing in distance. But a lot of people are getting caught up in what is being captured on the internet and thinking that, okay, I'm going to do the exact same thing and it's going to work out for me. And that's why I tell people we do our best to increase the probability of success that you have. If you are an individual considering moving abroad right now, and you may be looking at a visa, maybe now or later in the future, you it will probably be your first time doing the visa paperwork. You have not done hundreds of these. You have not done hundreds of these outside of you to ask the right questions or considerations that somebody like Daniel or anywhere you may be going in the world with an immigration lawyer is going to ask you. So I tell people, as much money as you are spending in the United States, whatever and wherever and whoever you work with, if you just had to spend a little more money, just a little bit, to make certain that you got it done right, considering what's on the other side of you leaving and all of the things that you're going through, I always recommend spending just a little bit more money by working with the professional, because that point you bring up is like, you guys are thinking that the moment that visa you apply for the visa is going to go how you saw everyone else's go. You may have dependents. You mentioned going to a country that your particular country that you are applying for may have some particular national security laws, but so many people have traveled to places that, well, I'm just living my life. Why would I think anything of this? So you bring up a very, very good point, Daniel, in regards to understanding that you, and I mean you, the person that is watching this, it's your move abroad. It's not mine. It's not anybody else's that you may see on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook. It's yours, and you have to actually put yourself in the driver's seat and work with somebody that knows how to navigate this. Um,
Yeah, that
Nomad visa is definitely. Go ahead. No, go
uh,
ahead, then.
yes, no, it was just getting back to that point is that mistakes in the visa application process can be very costly. The mistakes on a visa application handled wrong can easily be $2,000 because your apostille expires, because you had to leave, you had get an unexpected rush flight ticket because you didn't do it in the right time, and so on. And so, yeah, those mistakes are very expensive. So, uh, getting getting professional advice and assistance is worth it. I think it's worth it. Of course, there are out there, and of course you're aware of this, that there is a lot of called experts that basically they did theirs and now they're preaching on how to do that, but and they're charging a lot of money because they take advantage of people's needs. Um, so that is on the market. So it's good to do some research on the providers. Just saying. Wait, Roger, I think
I'll
your
take it.
your microphone or your audio.
Phone is not. No, we are.
Yes, now.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No
Yes,
problem.
the internet sometimes out. I'm in Mexico right now. The internet is not my friend all of the time. But definitely was asking you outside of the nomad visa because it is not a long-term solution. What are some of the other common visa types that are available for Americans looking to have flexibility when moving abroad?
Yes, I will. I will just name. There's one I will focus on because there aren't actually many. There is the marriage visa, civil union visa. If you move and you fall in love with a Colombian national, of course, that is an option. Or if you meet a Colombian in your home country and you fall in love and get married, that's another option. But and if you're buying property, that is an option. The real estate market, you will talk about it, is interesting for investment, um, and you will find very interesting prices compared to the US. But there is an underestimated visa category, that is the business investment or shareholder founder visa, and that is migrant visa that allows you to accrue time towards residency. You can create your own company and put in the money. And if you're in that profile of an entrepreneur and that you're looking for or you're looking for investment opportunities, as you mentioned, to create wealth, this market is still, as a developing market, it still has a big opportunity to grow. The competition is still not as much as in developed countries where the competitors are very strong, or there are almost very big corporations that take over the market. In Colombia and Medellín,
Hmm.
still there are growth opportunities. So that is an interesting option. And the investment is lower than the real estate investment. Is 100 The real estate investment is around $135,000. But if you don't have that money, but instead you have 35,000, you can go through that route. Although of course it is not recommended for everyone. It is recommended for more people that are into that kind
Yeah.
of lifestyle of an entrepreneur.
Let me ask you because the question of how do I make money abroad and things like that are starting to come up more. I'm actually starting to see people possibly consider leaving the workforce and lean into becoming an entrepreneur. When you say the business visa is that something that has to be a brick and mortar place, or a coaching or a consulting business? Is that something that will fall into the vein of what would classify for that? Because even with myself, I am not looking to have an office or a physical location, but coaching, consulting, a lot of people may have online businesses. Would that fall into something that would be qualified for?
Of course, no, yes, of course. There is not a specific requirement on the type of business, and the type of business changes from industry to industry. It is not the same to get a restaurant than a consultancy project. But nevertheless, it is important to say this right away, is that the spirit of that type of business to create jobs, local jobs for Colombians, right? So the economy has changed, the means of production has changed. Of course, now the digital environment has is more powerful than ever. It has more impact, but still there's still opportunities for value creation through consultancy, through services, advisory, and still create manage to create jobs. As I said, it depends on the business model that you're aiming to.
Got it. And I think you just said something important, which was create jobs. You know, everything in the United States is extremely hyper individualized. So it's just like me and mine and everything else. And what I tell people, what I see, and living in Colombia and living abroad is community. So considering, and I tell people because they often forget, when you are looking to go move abroad, you are saying, hey, other country, come accept me. But you also have things that you bring. You need to come with a positive attitude. You need to come with open mindedness to learn the language, learn the culture, understand how things go. But in consideration as an entrepreneur, because so many people in the United States may be solopreneurs, it's just me, and that's just it. But
Hmm.
you said something that, with consideration of looking to move abroad, you may need to require to hire locally in order to maintain that status, which I know for a fact is at least in Panama, because I was talking to my buddy Will and he was like, I had to hire a local Panamanian, I think full time, in order to do this. So I think I want to make sure people heard that, because you know moving abroad, it's leaving some things behind in America. And if you think that it's just going to be you and it's just this isolated thing, you may not be able to live your life with that kind of thought process in you, because you immediately take an entrepreneur and say, okay, you at least have to hire one
Hmm.
local
Yes.
person. Create one for you. You need to create one job for a fact, and I think that is putting a lot of onus on the people
For
that are
ex-
coming here in a good way.
exactly, no, and for that specific visa category, I mean, if you want to live without hiring anyone, then and you're not getting married, and then you are not doing other stuff, then your option would be to buy the property, right?
Yeah,
So either way, you choose your path with its consequences. If you choose the entrepreneur way, see that you will be in that lifestyle, that is creating systems, meeting with the accountant, paying taxes, hiring someone, doing marketing, creating
when I
a
get married.
company. Or if you don't want to do that, you still have the other option, that is the investment on a property, but that is 135,000. So you choose. You either live just still and retire in the mountains, but you are putting in 135, or you want to talk with people and learn the language and integrate fully through this project, that will be this other route. You see, as each visa category or each individual has their own projects and plans. So that's why we do that. Why we understand the clients' expected expectations and what they want to do and what they don't want to do. Still, for instance, through this visa category, the founder or shareholder, there is a second option, very important, that is the job creation. But you don't have to run the company. You can invest in an already existing one that is has already their employees, their accounting system, their business, but you're just putting in the money and getting some shares out of it. Yes, and that's something that
Understand.
we will be maybe talking more in detail on November.
Yes, yes, that'll be really important because I mean I'm an entrepreneur, as you already know, and like I said, I know people that the job market is shifting in the United States. I think I saw in August negative 3,000 jobs were created. Negative 3,000. And
Mm.
things, more layoffs are coming, the government is out, and people are like, I may need to become an entrepreneur. I tell people, America doesn't give you opportunity to hone into your hobbies or do what it is that you are. Like, you might be a really amazing painter. If you do painting, that may be something that you can now turn into, from a hobby to a business. Or building things. You know, we've got Michelet. She's in the crafts, and like when I tell you, I've seen so many different people say, I refuse to live there, and I am going to tap in and see what it is that my community needs of me, what it is that I can offer. They've been able to create brand new lives, brand new opportunities for themselves and others that realistically people need. So I think you bringing that up and the opportunity for both, if you want to be an entrepreneur and start a business, if you would like to possibly buy into a business, because a lot of people's thought process is, oh well, I've got great American credit. I'll just finance a place over there. I can, get that
Yeah,
done easily. And that doesn't work. So the good thing with American credit, if you don't have good credit, is that it doesn't follow you around the world. A lot of the American credit doesn't really tie you up in the way it may do in the United States. But if financing is not offered because you have great credit in the United States, but it's not offered in the country that you're looking for, I tell people sometimes, like, do you have it cash? Never mind what you can finance back at home, but do you have this money cash to make an investment? Does Colombia offer any kind of financing for Americans when it comes to that investment?
for that investment, no. No, the financing in
I
Colombia
didn't think
is
so.
also not recommended. It is not recommended.
Interest
No, it's
rates?
true because yeah, the interests in Colombia are very high. Yeah, the money is scarce, and that is something that you need to know and to use it in your favor. Yes, for example, the $10,000 cash here can yield a lot of interests. Yes, for example, if you're going through a CD in a bank, you can get easily 9, 10%, whereas in America you get 2, 3%. Uh,
2%.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's low.
So it's a different system overall with its pros and its cons. It's a starting with the metric system. No, it's a very big, it's a very different world. I mean, uh, and what you're doing, man, I think is very helpful for both people moving up who are looking to move abroad, but also for the locals. Yes, because when there is not an easy transition, when there is ignorance, when there is the not the
Yeah.
smooth transition, the locals can also get hurt, right?
Yes.
Uh, Disputes over rentals, disputes about prices or services, disputes with the government, and you see when there is not a scenario or a project like yours that helps people to make that smooth. A lot of conflicts, man, a lot of conflicts with the locals as well. So both, it's beneficial for both parties.
That's what I tell people. I tell them, and I appreciate you for that, because I went to great schools. You know, I didn't take a part of. I went to like one of the best colleges in the United States. However, I didn't take. I was working, as well as going to school. I didn't have the opportunity to take advantage of international exchange programs. So I didn't start traveling until I was mid 20s, late 20s. And what I was able to see was I got invited to Colombia by a Colombian that I went to school with. And so my hand was held. Yet I was turned around and started bringing people. And what I realized was like, people don't know where they are. People don't know where they are once they get on the other side of America. Colombia was a very brand new place for Americans to go. We were used to going to Mexico, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, on the resorts, which these things are very canned experiences. So being in the streets with the locals and understanding that Everything I do on this platform is to try to prepare somebody before they buy a ticket, before they go sell everything they own and say, I'm moving here. I want to at least meet you and greet you with some resources, some education, some understanding. I ask a lot of tough questions on here, Daniel, that I'll never get the answer to because the answer is not for me, it's for them. It's for them to help prepare before they get here because they contact me and they say, well, I saw that was going on in Colombia. You remember a couple of it was about a year ago, like in Poblado, people were like upset about gentrification. Something happened like that recently in Mexico City. And I'm like, the underlying issue is you have gentrification happens when people come and throw money or spend money in a way where if you knew that it was only $5 and not $25, you would pay $5. But you're coming here thinking that you are just back at home and easily and willfully paying something that is way more expensive. And once you open the can, once you open the door for money anywhere, it never
Yeah.
closes.
Hmm.
It
Never close.
never closes. You just can't. And Americans know that. We used to never pay for bags to get on the plane. 9/11 happened. Now we just pay for the bags like it's just nothing. It doesn't even include, it's not even included in the ticket. So think about how many things and ways where what you're doing, you, the person looking to move abroad, is looking to integrate. You're looking to become a part of a community that exists without you. How do
Hmm.
you be a better steward of what this move abroad process is for both the people that will receive you, as well as you and your success and how happy you can be? Because when I moved to Colombia, I was open for everything Colombia had to offer to me. I quickly had to learn that my life moving as fast didn't mean that it was going to make Colombia go any faster. Even in a major city like Medellin, these things help me have a better time, meet people like you and all of the other people that we have put together because it takes that kind of intention in order to succeed as an American. I can't speak on any one other country, but when Americans leave their country for the first time, they are like a baby seeing the world for like with brand new eyes. People all over the world, they grow up and they're like, "Oh, I know what this is like." Even if they've never traveled, they're aware and they're like, "These are legitimate places." America
Hmm.
makes this thought process is like it's America and everyone else. And once you get out, you realize that that's so far, and the ability to have these conversations um, is ideal. Won't take up too much more of your time, Daniel. I wanted to ask you though because 2026 is coming quickly, and Americans aren't used to getting a raise ever. And they don't realize because the federal minimum wage has been the federal minimum wage for I don't know 10, 15 plus years, maybe even more. Whereas at least with cost, I know that visas are tend to be tied to the federal minimum wage or how much the minimum wage is. So certain visas are X amount of minimum wage. I think the housing one is like 100 or 1,000 times. So outside of cost, do you foresee any other changes coming in the 2026 visa process that people need to be aware of?
Hmm. I mean, there's gonna be elections next year
Hmm.
in Colombia. There's gonna be a new government. The government sets the immigration rules. So yeah, depending on who wins, they will have different policies, and it's most likely that. But I don't think it's gonna be more strict than it is now. I think we're
Okay.
at a point that it has become as strict as it gets from the Colombian side. Um, but yeah, no, I just wanted to mention we can also discuss this in November with when we will have more information, and just pointed out something useful for the audience maybe is that typically, This application process takes between 6 to 8 weeks. Yes,
Hmm.
normally it can be more depending on what type of visa and that kind of stuff. So if people are looking to apply for the visa while they are in the United States, they can do that. It is not mandatory to come to Colombia first. They can do that, and they can even save some extra money when it comes to the apostilles, because that is cheaper there, or the FBI criminal records, because it is cheaper there. So if some people that are watching this are interested in applying for a visa in the next few months, or planning to move in January or February next year, it's a good time to start preparing for that. And yeah, you got the contact and we can assist.
No, definitely. I'm really looking forward to this. You know, we could literally, because the visa process is so convoluted. I want to give everybody an understanding of what is next for them and ways to get more of this information and get connected to all of these resources. So, first, before November, I know you have a virtual conference that you are doing in October. Can you tell the audience about what that looks like for them, and where to get information at?
Yeah, sure. No, yeah, this webinar we want to give something special. We want to give very technical and professional value for taxes, tax planning, estate planning. People who are already in Colombia, making wills and trusts for their children abroad, international successions. We will talk about prenuptial agreements. We're going to talk about properties conflicts, purchases, and HOA conflicts. And we're going to go like really
Mm,
hardcore in bringing value and valuable insights to the people in property law, tax law, immigration law, and family law.
those are,
So
see, so that's in depth detail, man. Because those are really, you said HOA, like navigating that, and I'm like, we know what an HOA is, and those things in Colombia, they're the exact same way that they are in the United States, and
exactly, and you'll find when is the General Assembly, what are your voting rights, what are your rights when the front man, the elevator broke, how can you handle that? If they are proposing an extra fee, how to contest that? Like going more into the details of some regulations that are of interest for foreigners, people who are. We're gonna talk about crypto taxing. We're gonna talk about banking, and basically more in detail what foreigners struggle with here in Colombia from the legal point of view. Then other things we cannot advise.
nah, I got you. Oh, you know what? And thank you for giving me the information, because I made it real easy for everybody. You can go to on movetravelabroad.com and actually get registered for this that conference. So if you are in Colombia, you're looking to move to Colombia, and some of those topics or all of those topics actually interest you to have some real niche down deep dive info session with Daniel and his team, you can go there, movetravelabroad.com. You will literally see the flyer and the information. The sign up sheet is there. You'll get the link after purchase. Those things are made accessible. What you can also do after October, if you're looking at other locations, as I mentioned, with our November virtual relocation conference, we cover Colombia. So we have Santa Marta, Medellin, and Cali. We have Playa del Carmen, Mexico. We have Cape Town, South Africa, and we have Panama City, Panama. What we've done is not only bring Daniel and his all of his resources, but resources from other destinations, because I know the legwork that it takes to narrow down where you're going to move. I know the legwork that it takes once you've narrowed it down to even get connected to individual resources in those places, so you can actually devise a plan of attack. and leaving if that is what's on your radar. So what we've done November 22nd is put all of these people in the room, the people that are going to give you the opportunity to take that flight and meet you on the other side of the TSA and give you opportunity to see the actual city and the country that you're thinking of looking at. We're going to bring Daniel back, so he's going to be going over the visa process, not only because you don't need a refresher, but some people may not have seen this. Maybe you didn't share it yet, but somebody needs to see and hear this understanding of what the visa process looks like. But we are also catering to you in a different way than most relocation conferences do, outside of the big resources that you need. We are also going to be tapping in with Sonia, the student loan doctor. She's going to be helping you guys figure out why this move abroad could help you pay off your student loans. She has helped people, thousands of people, get millions of dollars of student loans forgiven, gone, poof. And ways to move abroad with coupled with student loan repayment, as well as how to build wealth abroad. So many people are trying to figure out, how am I going to retire? I'm getting older, but I don't have enough money to save. Well, moving abroad could not only free up that money, but you need to know what to do with it. One of the other things that I get a lot is people moving abroad with children. What does that look like? Is it safe? What is there to do? We bring on a parent that gives you insight on parenting abroad, as well as how to get tapped in with the community. Volunteering and giving back and being a part of the community is important. So, what we have done is put all of what you need, all of what you forgot that you needed, and everything all in one place so that you can only have to go to movetravelabroad.com and purchase your early bird tickets. It is only $65 USD for this entire, I think there's over 14 speakers this day. We are going to give you everything you need so that by the end of the weekend, you can start your journey in looking to move abroad. So, Daniel, it is always great to talk to you, literally.
Same
Um,
wise.
Once again, if you guys are interested in Daniel's conference, that is at the end of October, you can go on movetravelabroad.com. The sign up sheet is there. If you are looking to get not only what Daniel has to offer you, but the entire relocation opportunity covering Colombia, Mexico, Panama, South Africa, and more, you can go to the exact same place, movetravelabroad.com. Early bird tickets are on sale through November. They are going up, but we are excited to get you guys this early bird pricing. I will see you guys manana, right back here where we are. I appreciate you always, Daniel. And please, if you guys are interested, reach out to us. We'll get you connected with Daniel. You may need to sit down with him and get consulted on your next best life. I appreciate you as always, my brother.
All right.
I will see you soon.
Take care, man.
All righty.
Bye.
Later.